Yeah, probably the election will be neutral on the globalization because none of the parties has any specific economic policy program. This election is a classical example of politics without policies. So typical for Japan, has worked very well in the 20th century, but in the 21st century, the country has not made its peace with globalization, and the political landscape reflects just that. None of the parties, neither the challenger from the LDP, Shinzo Abe, nor the incumbent, the DPJ under Prime Minister Noda, has a clear concept. None of the parties, or the major parties, is clearly pro-TPP, pro the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would create a huge free trade zone here in the Asia-Pacific region, including the United States. That is all very opaque, very ambiguous, and none of the parties has the energy and the courage to come out here clearly and to do what is necessary for the Japanese economy in the global context. The current polls indicate that we will see a swing back to the 20th century and to the political system at that time. Most likely the LDP, the Liberal Democratic Party, which governed Japan for almost half a century, from 1955 to 2009, is going to come back as the ruling party here. Most likely they will have to form a coalition, either with the challenger from Osaka, the new third party, which has recently gone together with former Tokyo Mayor Ishihara, the Japan Restoration Party, which is actually focused on quite radical reforms, but only domestically and more administratively than economically. Yeah, the election is seen with great concern in China because there's the impression that Japan is moving to the right because the LDP under Shinzo Abe has taken a quite hawkish stance here on the island issue. And the Japan Restoration Party, so the so-called third force here, formed by Osaka Mayor Hashimoto and former Tokyo Governor Ishihara, also seems to be quite nationalistic in their positioning. On the other hand, all major political forces here are totally clear that any adventure is out of the question. This includes renuclearization of Japan. There's a 95% or more consensus, both in the political establishment and in the population, that the foundation of Japanese foreign policy and defense policy is the security alliance with the United States. And Japan is totally firm in this respect. The new Chinese leadership knows that. So I wouldn't expect here any further damage. And both sides also have learned, including the Chinese side, that these protests were economically not in their best interest, neither in the Chinese interest, which of course wants more investment here and knowledge from Japan, nor in Japan's interest.